What's up, YouTube? Today we're taking a look at the 43, I don't know how to say this, by Sergio Gonzalez Rodriguez. And it's winter time where I live, and I live kind of in the hood, so, well, I do live in the hood. So it's, it is what it is, but the pipes, they're making noises. I think they're kind of vibrating in their brackets or whatever in the walls. Shot a video, got rid of it. Now I'm here. We're going to go again. So basically, this is about a place named Guerrero that is due south of Mexico City, which totally debunks the whole apologist. It's just the border towns that are crazy. It's not everywhere. And I guess this is kind of a place that Mexico would call an ungovernable or an ungoverned place. I guess that basically... Hang on. It's amazing. The amount of noises that happen when I hit record. You hear YouTubers complain, but you don't know. So, this place right here, 60% of this place's poppies are grown here. Mexico is the second largest supplier of the world's poppies, right behind Afghanistan. I guess that really governance happens only in certain places in Mexico, not along the border, probably not along this border, not along places where there are poppies. I guess really you would struggle to find places where the rule of law actually exists. Pardon the sound, I really can't stop it, guys. I would if I could. This is how Guerrero breaks down gang-wise. They got a bunch of gangs down there. They're wrecking everything. Some of them are super gangs. Really what becomes interesting, though, is that as of 10 years ago, we had 25,000 troops, at least, probably more, all clandestine, meaning they're not exactly going to pony up that they are from the US of A on their own. Hang on. Trying to reduce the vibration that this gets. 55 bases, probably more, as of 10 years ago, that are exclusive to the U.S. This guy gives a kind of a, Sergio, I should say, Gonzalez Rodriguez, who wrote this, who is the man, passed in, I think, 2017 of a heart attack, probably from drinking way too much. He was an orphan. Probably had a hard life. CIA offices in Mexico, the largest in the Western Hemisphere outside of the U.S. If you've ever read the Jakarta Method, which I will probably review at some point on this channel because it is super lit, it's just nuts, man. The CIA has a psychopathic urge to totally eliminate any type of far-left ideology. I'm not talking about liberalism, which is actually just right of center. In America, we don't really have far left people. Ungoverned areas. Here, he postulates that they're learning it from us. I learned it from you, Dad. Where? They learned how to purge people from us, which does make sense because we have been in that business for a while. And kind of goes over like these basically the 43 are 43 left-wing students. They went to go to protest somewhere, they get rolled up and everybody gets murked. That's about it, like that's kind of the gist of the impetus to go on and kind of illustrate that Mexico kind of is totally subservient to us, Americans, or at least our government. I guess in Mexico, they sometimes, it's called a Code Red Combat Protocol. If soldiers are attacked, they must kill all their assailants, taking no prisoners. The IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, does something very similar. It's actually against the Geneva Convention, but no one really follows that. NAFTA has been pretty bad for Mexico. That's at any point, if you ever want to read anything on the pages, just pause them. It's just a bad deal because none of this is actually helping. It's kind of like how things went in Afghanistan and Iraq. If you were there for any of that, none of it actually helped. We were spinning our wheels pretty much the entire time. And that's unfortunate. It is what it is. There really isn't much we can do about it as the average citizen, especially when the CIA and other powers that be go out of their way to obfuscate, mask, and put on charades that they're not happening. Especially when most people don't read. Most people, as in pretty much all of them in this country, do not read. If they do read, it's at a fifth grade level or below. So they're not understanding enough of this to really get the point that the sovereignty of Mexico is compromised, first and foremost by us, and then by conditions that we create that kind of bring forth the cartels. And we may even be training a lot of these people. We are training them, but I mean, as far as the people like certain cartels, I'm just not gonna name. I'm not gonna go into it. Read the book, or not. I kind of told you the parts that matter. But it's rough, man. I can totally see why he drank himself to death. Because he died of a heart attack. We're kind of we're assuming the CIA didn't use a heart attack gun, if that's real. There's literally a part where this guy says stop or something in a conversation or slow down, but it's also Spanish for stand up, and this dude jumps out of his seat and stands up. Feel free to stop and read it. If I were you guys, I'd get this. It's not a lot of money. This and 3 other works are what are translated of his stuff. I guess in total 3, this and 2 others. And it's really eye-opening, and it's kind of a bummer. This book really took me aback in not good ways, because I like to think of America still, I like to think that we're the good guys, even though I know we're not. I think the American people are good. I think what we want and what is happening are extremely divergent, and the people that think that they're protecting us are really like just advancing their own ideas of how things should work. I don't think that the average person thinks it's okay to purge tons and tons and tons of people in the name of safeguarding the Western ideas of free market capitalism, while those very ideas are eroded and the pillars of them knocked down so that giant conglomerates and multinational corporations can have their way with our wallets. So yeah. In any event, I guess really what took me aback was this part. 10 years ago, 25K at least, 55 bases exclusive to us, so not shared. He referenced Fast and Furious. Eric, I think Holden was in charge of that. It's just, Also, he talks about how the U.S. has this 2-pronged effect where we are making tons of weapons and selling them not only to the good guys in Mexico, but also the bad guys. And beyond that, we are the biggest draw for drugs in the world. He references the Contra scandal, Iran-Contra. Look that up. I don't have time to go into it right here. There's just a lot of stuff that we now know is true, and it's just rough. It's a rough read. It's a rough read if you really, because I want things to be as I thought they were when I was a kid, but they're just not. Because oftentimes governments are not beholden to anything close to accountability or beholden to their people. They're just doing their own thing. And you can call it the deep state, I guess, but there's a permanent strata and structure that exists outside of elections, and some people really get a grind and axe. Well, I'll review the Jakarta method soon. I'll get it up, and we'll be able to really talk about a little bit what it means, what that book means, and how some of these journalists, like this guy, just dedicated everything that they had to what they believed was right, and were totally unafraid to die for what they believed was right. And that's inspiring to me. That's something that I really, really, really think is the way a man should live. Because for me, a man is not, this weird culture war BS. It has to do with, are you going to do what's right? What do you think about duty? You know what I mean? In any event. That's about all she wrote for this one. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. Hope you folks have a good rest of your day. Bye now.